Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for the cool down. Leeds United 3, Liverpool 3, 4 points in a week from Chelsea and Liverpool, which is great stuff. But is this a turning point or deja vu? We're going to get into it in this video, including manager comments and various other things. There's a few things in this video. Before I continue though, please like the video. It's free to do, helps out the channel immensely in terms of visibility on this platform. Thank you to all members of the channel for the support. Big up to each and every one of you. As I always say, you make this thing go. So people, 3-3 from nowhere, 2-0 down, 3-2 down, and we still managed to get a point. And the thing is, with games like this, you always know when it's against those big boys, as we saw against Chelsea. Some of the story is about Leeds United, but a lot of it is about the Liverpool stuff. Well, I thought it was just going to be in regards to the result because it's another poor result for Liverpool and Arne Slot. But then you get this from Mo Salah. Just think about it. If this does become Mo Salah's final away game for Liverpool, the footnote will be Ellen Road. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, Mo Salah was obviously waiting for Liverpool to have a bad result to let all this out. And obviously he's going to AFCON soon. But hey, that's for them to discuss. But what I mean by this is you'll see over the next week, there will be a few headlines about Leeds fight back in this game, but it's all going to be about Mo Salah. That's the beauty of the Premier League, man. The big boys, they get all the headlines. But you know what? If we stay up because of this point, I'm all for it. Hey, listen, we had a little something for ourselves, though. Boris Becker, he acknowledged Anton Stach. Has Nagelsmann ever scouted him or even got him on the list? There you go. Anton Stach getting some love from Boris Becker. Don't know what that means to you, but cool. But yeah, we got some, obviously now at this point when I record this, with 3 points out of the relegation zone. But what I will say is, my community, I've built a really good community. I will say that because the people aren't getting too high or too low at this point. I think some of you are waiting for the West Ham and Fulham results later, and that's fair if that's the way you do it. But I think people are just cautiously optimistic, but also wary about what's happened before. And we'll get into it in this video. In terms of the managers, Arne Slot, I mean, he had Liverpool fans' heads on Mars with some of the things he said, but he said this: the result, the manner of conceding the goals, the way the whole game went for us, so many positives to take, except for the result. First chance from football for them made it 2-2 because of the first VAR. And what I will say is, you could even go that with their goal. If it's not for a bad back pass by Joe Rodon, when do they eventually break through? You could that can go either way. Chances happen from a mistake somewhere, don't they? So, in regards to that, and it was only because of VAR, because the referee just missed it, and I don't know how he missed it. But as I said in the match reaction, when it's against Liverpool, when it's against Arsenal, when it's against these big teams, they turn over every stone before they give you a penalty, man. It's crazy. Moving on. Unfortunately for him, in regards to Kanate, he's been on the crime scene a lot, which I thought was a pretty funny line. But obviously, if you're a Liverpool fan, you're not loving it. But hey, either way, here, let's go with Farke now. Crazy, another magical night at Ellen Road. Ground rocking like no other in world football. When this place is on it, it's second to none. Tight game first half. Could tell we were tired second half. Mistakes for their goals. Yeah, I don't think it was a tight game first half. I'll be honest. I think we were outplayed by Liverpool. Again, Farke is going to see it the way he sees it, but the way it looked, we were nowhere near it like we were against Chelsea. And it was, for me, to do with the change of personnel, and we'll get into that in a moment as well. But yeah, listen, to come back from 2-0 down against anyone in the Premier League is a great achievement, let alone the reigning Premier League champions, no matter what form they're in. So I'll give full credit for that and his changes. I have not watched it back yet, but if VAR looks at it and the referee looks again and decides it's a penalty, it shows how it should be handled. If he reviews it in the proper way and it's given, it shows definitely a penalty. Absolutely right. Should never have gone that far. I don't know why. And yeah, there wasn't too much. But what I will say is, after the game, and usually in the comments or on Insta, I would have got loads of things in terms of, oh, we're staying up now and everything. But it was kind of people still staying on the ground. And I do appreciate that, because look, LUFC data put out a couple of things yesterday, and 27% of Leeds Premier League points this season have been won in the past 72 hours against Chelsea and Liverpool, and that just shows you, that's almost just over a quarter of our points been won in 2 games where we weren't expected to get them. Now I think it's a case that people want to know what we're going to do against Brentford next. That's the next question. What are we going to do against Brentford? Because and then there's this bit as well. Leeds recover from a 2-goal deficit to avoid a Premier League defeat for the first time since a 4-3 win over Bournemouth in November 2022. And I think that's where it also goes back to, we've beaten Liverpool before, come back against Bournemouth. Jesse Marsch stays in the job. Is this a turning point for Daniel Farke, or is this Marsch 2.0? Obviously, we're not going to know until we get more results. But for our sakes, you're hoping it is a turning point and we're at least competitive to stay out of the bottom three. Otherwise, it will go the way of Jesse Marsch. And that's where I am. People were asking in the chat yesterday, should Farke still go? Should Farke still go? Said many times. Let's just say Thiago Motta liked what he saw. He liked the fighting spirit and he said, yeah, I'd love to take that over. You absolutely go and get Thiago Motta, okay? But what you don't do is you sack Daniel Farke for a Gary O'Neill, okay? You don't do that. Or a Big Ange. You don't do that. But also, there's also this thing about players fighting for the manager. I go two ways with that. I think it's always good that the players don't down tools and fight for the manager. I get that. But sometimes you can fight for the manager and just not be good enough. That can also happen. But it's clear that Daniel Farke is getting a tune out of the players. But will Daniel Farke learn the lessons from what he did yesterday and the games previously, or will he revert to type? And what I mean by that is he going to continue just to play the 4-3-3 now because we got 3 goals in that formation when we went 2 down? Or will he know when to mix it up? And also, will he know that certain personnel will only fit in this team? Now, a lot of people aren't going to be happy with what I'm going to say next, but that's part of the course of doing this. But if we're going to play a 5-3-2 next time, we can't go with Ampadu, Stach, and Gruev in the 3 midfield. If you're going to do that, you need to put in Aronson in there at this moment in time until we get to January, people, and we can try and replace a few players or add a few players. That's what we've got right now. You can't go with Gruev and Ampadu. And again, it's no slight on Gruev. He's not actually doing anything wrong, but it's just severely limited in that 5-3-2 in the way it was set up. And especially when you take out the other piece up front, which is Mecha, there was just no threat, and it was evident from the first half. So while you're battening down the hatches and keeping things tight as tight as you can, there's no creativity in there. At least with Aronson, what you're going to get is a runner. He's going to try and drive forward. He might win you a free kick or two. And he was good when he came on yesterday. Give him his credit. So the changes that Farke made yesterday actually did work. So what it should show him, it shouldn't be that now we've scored 3 goals with the 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. I'm just going to revert back to that again in the main. What it should show him is that there's different formations, different tactical plans for different setups. That's what it should show me. It shouldn't just show him just because we're behind, you throw on all the attackers and go, throw the kitchen sink at it. It should show him, hey, this worked against 2 really good teams. What could we do against Brentford next? What could we possibly do against Palace if we mix it up and change part of the course of the game? And I really hope, this is me now, I really hope that's what he's learned. Because if not, and he reverts back to type, we're going to probably have results like we had prior to Chelsea. And that's not good. We were in a bad state. We had lost 6 and 7 people, So these are 2 good results, but now it's about what you do next. And the thing that I'm hoping for, I don't know if Farke sees past the summer. I'll be honest. I do think that there is a ceiling with this manager, and that goes with player recruitment, type of players you bring in, style of play. But if he can get the job done, the remit is to finish 17th with this team. And I said when we closed the transfer window, if Farke is still here and he finishes 17th, he gets nothing but credit at the end of the season. Doesn't matter all the trials and tribulations that we've had leading up to that point. If he keeps this team up, full credit. But it will be a case like it should have been last summer. Thank you for the work, but we need to move on now. We need to elevate to the next level. That's what it's going to take in order to keep us up for a second year. But let's do the first year first. But I just hope that's what it is. And I think maybe that's a trepidation from some fans because we've seen it before with 2 good results and then we've gone on a terrible run afterwards. But we can only hope it's a turning point. Now, Brentford is next up. That is not going to be easy because they are really good at home. We have to show what we're about away from home. We cannot keep relying on just Ellen Road. That's going to be vital for us. I think that's pretty evident. but we need to do this away from home as well. The away form has to be cleaned up in order to get those points that you're not expected to get away from home in order to survive. What he also needs to understand as well, and here it comes, people, you knew it was coming. Tanaka is a key component in this midfield. Okay, you need him to play. And you saw yesterday, without him in the midfield, it looked completely different. There was no tech. It was all grit. It was all winning the ball back. That's fine. But then no one could progress with the ball. Stach can do it, and Stach is good at it, but he's still more. I think he's still more of a 6. I think he's more of that defensive midfielder that likes to get stuck in. Tanaka is your finesse. He can get you a goal if you allow him to go forward. And that's the other thing Farke needs to do going forward. If we're going to play 4-3-3, allow Tanaka to pass the halfway line. Don't restrict him like he was restricted in previous games and he wasn't even seeing the opponent's penalty box. He is a danger man in terms of a long shot or a creative pass in that area. And obviously, I'm sure you guys have seen, he's getting nothing but love and praise around the Premier League for the week he's had. He can continue to do that. He did have a tough start. He said that himself. You know, the pace of the Premier League, it was different, but he looks like he fits like a glove now. £3 million, unbelievable. But you've got to allow Tanaka that license, not only to get stuck in, but allow him to get forward. And I hope he knows that as well in terms of Daniel Farke. And so give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on the whole thing. What are you feeling? Are you feeling like it's Marsch 2.0? Are you hopeful that Farke will learn and not be married to the 4-2-3-1 because it worked in the second half against Liverpool? Give me your thoughts in the comments about that. You know, and try and do it before the Fulham and West Ham games. Yeah, try and do it. But yeah, listen, let me know in the comments. Just a quick note on Calvert-Lewin. He has now scored three in 3 games for the. Let me start that again. Calvert-Lewin has scored 3 consecutive Premier League appearances for the first time since August 2021. So, you know, big up to him. I'll always give credit where it's due. And it has been evident that obviously in the 2, even though it wasn't really working with Okafor, that he needs a strike partner. He's not capable of doing it by himself up front. And obviously we need to close the gap. And that's where I talk about Tanaka being in a supporting role just behind him. But yeah, listen, I don't know how long this goal scoring streak is going to continue, but long may it continue and long may his fitness continue in this system, because at the moment he's our #1 striker until January, where we possibly do need to recruit another one. We'll get into that next week. But yeah, listen, I'll always give credit where it's due. And to score 3 in 3 in the Premier League against anyone, it could have said Palace, it could have said, I shouldn't say Palace like that, they're a good team. Could have said Burnley, Wolves, and Fulham. Doesn't matter. 3 in 3 is brilliant. And when you consider it's against Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, excellent stuff. Keep it coming, DCL. So that is it for the video, people. I hope everyone is good. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Like the video before you go. Give me your thoughts on anything discussed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.